When you're born with this tremendous learning machine. Your brain, it has so much ability, capacity. You're only just touching the surface of your real ability. But let me show you how it works when you develop triggers to the packet. Now, the left side, this is our conscious mind. Those things when we're born, we're consciously aware of. And when we're born with limited functionality. We cry, we sleep, we feed, we go toilet. More or less, that's what we do consciously. Our unconscious mind is born with our autonomic nervous system, our parasympathetic nervous system. It controls our core temperature, our breathing. It controls our respiratory. It controls our muscle movement, voluntary, non-voluntary, and so much more that we don't need to worry about. But let's focus on this side. Now, over and above that limited functionality that you're born with, everything you're capable of doing today, you learn to do. And you learn through repetition. You do something, you do it over and over and over and over again, and eventually you master it. You learn to walk, you learn to talk, you learn to read, you learn to write. There are millions of things that you once weren't able to do that with enough repetition, enough practice, you mastered. Driving is a great example. At some point in your life, you learn to drive. You learn clutch, mirror, indicator, accelerator, biting point, feeding the wheel, and it took all your concentration. It was like, shh, don't talk to me. I'm learning to drive a car. And then eventually, at some point, you got what we call conscious competence. You were able to drive the vehicle provided you thought about how to drive the vehicle. And then as you continue to drive, it went from your conscious into your unconscious. And then you got unconscious capability. You got unconscious belief system, and you were able to drive the car easily without thinking about how to do that. Now, the part of the problem is your mind doesn't make a distinction between something you learn that's positive, like learning to drive a car, or learning to walk, or learning to talk, or something negative, like learning to use and sniff. It doesn't understand. If you do something enough times, your brain will automate that behavior. Now think about it. If you learned to drive a car and you had a number of driving lessons and it went from conscious into your unconscious, and the moment that happens, a vault wrapped around it to protect it, to ensure you don't forget how to do it, because you don't suddenly want to get in a car and suddenly forget how to drive, and that doesn't happen because it's protected, okay? Now, your job of your mind is to protect all automated behavior. Now, think about it. How many lines have you racked up? Far more than you've had driving lessons. So you can understand it's gone from here into here, and it's become protected, automated. Not only has it become protected, but the triggers, the stimuli, have also become attached to it. Because when you first start using, you use because it's a Friday, and it's Fridays, boom. You're having a good time. You've had an argument. You're stressed. You deserve it. It's a reward. Your mates are doing it. There are so many different things that you train yourself consciously that become protected at an unconscious level. And now what happens is X plus Y equals U's, because you train yourself so well. What's that about?